Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another great edition of Topic Time with Harrison Young. The final week of February, the final 2 days, and spring is coming. We may get a little snow tonight, but the gods have been good to me. The gods love Topic Time. So far, they have not postponed any of my shows with weather, and tonight is no exception. We seem to be getting sandwiched around the two shows I do during the week. We got one show tonight I'm doing here with another awesome musical guest. We go home, it'll snow tonight for about 10 hours, and tomorrow, by the time I do the show in the other town, it'll be gone. So, read the underwriters. We only get two tonight, and then we'll introduce the guests and have a great show. So, we got Cherry Lane Seat Weaving in West Bridgewater, and we got MDI Auto Brokers and Repair in Whitman, home of the fully certified used car. And thank you guys very much. Okay, so now, to introduce this gentleman here, this is Hanson Barlow, although that's his musical name.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys might remember that show I did back in early January with Cash and Hogg. He's performed with them, and he took a liking to the show when he saw it, and he wanted to do it, and now he got him on. So Hanson, that's what you go by during your musical performances, right? And
Totally.
And appearances. So thanks for being on Topic Time tonight.
My pleasure.
I guess the first question I have is, that's not your real name. You want to talk about how you decided to use it as a
Yeah,
pseudonym?
totally. So it's actually a pretty interesting story. So
That's why we ask these questions. Go ahead.
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And my real name is actually Wesley Dolan Konopka.
Cool.
But although Konopka's a pretty cool name, I didn't really feel like it was catchy. You know, like there's people like Bob Dylan, who his real name's Robert Allen Zimmerman. You know, so he went by Dylan Thomas, like a poet that he really likes.
Not to mention it's hard to spell the last
right, yeah. Okay. So it's like you need something easy that people are going to remember and stuff like that. So I figured that I wanted to play as Wesley Dolan and use my middle name.
Okay.
But then I actually searched Wesley Dolan online, and there was actually an Australian songwriter who he played as Wesley Dolan.
Cool.
And he was pretty big in like he did music for movies and all types of stuff like that.
In Australia?
In Australia. So I figured because he was pretty big there, I didn't really want to go by a name with my music that someone basically already captivated on.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so then I figured might as well make up my own musical name. You know, I can make it something I want. And it actually basically gives an ode to some of my favorite artists that basically inspired me to do what I'm doing now. And
including Bob Dylan?
Yeah. Well, his part of it's not in the name, but actually, so Hanson comes from, do you know Beck Hansen? Or Beck is what he plays as.
Well, I think of Beck. Yeah, I know Beck.
Yeah, like Loser Baby and stuff like that.
Well, wait a minute. Is that his real name, Beck Hansen?
Yeah. Beck Hansen is his full name.
Oh, Beck Hansen is his full name. Got it.
And I love him, and he kind of started off as a lo-fi musical artist.
Okay.
So I figured I would pull the Hansen from Beck Hansen.
Okay.
And then the Barlow part actually comes from a musician, Lou Barlow.
Okay.
Who actually played bass in one of my favorite late 80s, mid 90s bands. They're actually still playing now, but they're called Dinosaur Jr.
Okay, I've heard
And they're awesome. Yeah, they're actually from Boston.
Cool.
Yeah, so I basically took those two names and just fused them together.
Good job. And you've obviously done your research.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, tell me about you. How'd you get into music in the first place, growing up and stuff?
Yeah, so it's very interesting.
Yep.
When I was younger, maybe I want to say like 9 to 14 or so, my mom had a boyfriend because my parents got divorced when I was young.
Okay.
And he was actually really into collecting records.
Okay.
Which at the time, not many people were into. Now it's kind of like the in thing to collect records and that sort of thing, you know?
Right.
But back then it was a little bit more odd and stuff like that. But he had a really awesome
sort of the
stereo.
era between when the CDs came out and then when records became antiques, which is basically what they are today.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and he would play a lot of good music for us. You know, he would play Bob Dylan, Led Zeppelin.
Is he still with us?
Yeah,
good.
He totally is, yeah. And I actually live like 5 minutes down the road from him now, which is kind of interesting.
Nice family arrangement?
Yeah, so that plus my mom's really into music too.
Good, okay.
So starting
Is she a musician too?
She's actually not. There's actually not that many musicians in my family, so I'm not really sure where I get it from. My brother's pretty musical too, but she would basically bring us to concerts and stuff like that from a very young age. I think the first
What
concert
kind
I
of
saw.
concerts? Like rock?
Yeah, like
concerts?
rock and
Cool.
roll, also theater too.
Okay.
I think Cats was the first.
She liked
Broadway.
musicals and she liked rock. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and
my mother
still-
likes that. My mother likes that stuff too.
Awesome.
So I understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And when you grow up and it's around you and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know
it's-
your environment and rubs off. I get it.
Yeah,
Makes
totally.
sense. Okay, well, you don't look too old. I'm guessing you're probably not much into, maybe late 20s or early 30s at the most.
Perfect.
Right.
Right on the money. I'm 30.
Okay, there you go. So you're still you're a fairly young guy still. So how far have you taken your career to this point?
It's actually pretty interesting. So when I was younger, I played in a band in high school,
Okay.
which was pretty awesome. We kind of broke up kind of a little bit after high school.
Yeah.
And then I basically actually moved to Boston to play music.
Now, you grew up in New Hampshire, right?
Yeah, but I grew up in New Hampshire, but
up-
then I just kind of wanted the city life and stuff like that
Sure.
because I was in a pretty rural town.
Yeah, I know, it is.
Yeah, and I think I like partied a little bit too hard because
Oh, didn't we
I
all?
think I got a little distracted and didn't really play much music. But I've always played music in the background and kind of, I want to say, about 3 years or so, I just kind of wanted to like take it more serious and start writing my own songs.
Okay.
And basically, Hanson Barlow was born.
So basically, you do your own original stuff. Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little about the high school band. What was that about? How many in it? And
It was
you still
really
keep in touch with
interesting.
The people in it.
Yeah, I totally do. The other guitar player who wrote a lot of songs for that, he plays in a Boston band called Cal Marx.
Okay, I've heard
And
of
they
them.
still play around in the area and stuff like that.
Okay.
We had a keyboard player. She was a girl. She was awesome at keyboards. I think the drummer still plays in a band. So I think basically everyone still plays, just kind of separately.
Okay,
We
I
still
see.
kind of keep in touch and
So
stuff
it's
like that.
in a way, it was kind of a break-in deal for all of you.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what better way? What an education. Did you go to college at all?
I actually went to Keene State for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Which that was very fun, but I kind of almost got to the point where I would have
That's
had
where
to
they had the pumpkin fights, right?
Yeah, they had the pumpkin festivals and the riots.
Right,
Do you
that's what I
remember
mean.
the riots?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's probably the most activity that town has had in decades.
Yeah.
But
I don't even think they do it in the town anymore
They
just
probably don't
because of that.
because it was made national news and not in a good way.
Yeah.
You weren't involved in any of that stuff.
No, it's crazy. I had a lot of friends that still lived there at the time,
Yeah.
and they were trying to get me to go out to Pumpkin Fest.
Okay.
But I didn't want to, which I was very glad I didn't, because I think they called in the riot squad, and they had
Yeah.
helicopters.
It's
and,
hard to control a motley crew that big.
yeah, and
crowd
they're
of
all
people.
drunk and stuff like that, and
Wow.
they're throwing
Hey,
bottles.
You should
and-
write a song about that.
Yeah.
Did you ever think of doing that? Just an idea.
It's funny. I actually did write a song about it at
I'll
the
tell you
time.
what. Why don't you give us a solo?
Yeah. I'll totally
give us
play you a song.
sample of the song. Name the title and play it. Go ahead.
Word.
All right, go ahead.
Do you want the serious one first or the fun one?
All right. What about the serious? Let's get it out of the way.
All right. So this is actually a song from my first album.
Okay. So
And,
this is all got to do with Keene, right?
This one doesn't.
Oh,
No,
I see.
that's an old song. Yeah, I'm gonna play a newer one.
Okay. Get your mic right there. You
Awesome, sounds good.
It's perfect.
This song's basically about growing up, being a musician, and basically people not really understanding it or something like that. But
But they will after this.
Yeah.
After the show. All right, what's the name of the song?
it's called Rockstar.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always bring your guitar around. Never put it down. Playing songs that you really like. Playing songs not everybody likes. So you think you're gonna be a rock star? So you think you're gonna be a rock star? new favorite band. So you think you're gonna be a rock star? So you think you're gonna be a rock star? Just put down your guitar. You're never gonna be a rock star. Just put down your guitar. You're never gonna be a rock star. So you think you're gonna be a rock star? So you think you're gonna be a rock star? So you think you're gonna be a rock star? So you think you're gonna be a rock star?
Oh, very good. You're
Thank
like
you.
Neil Young inflection in that.
Yeah,
voice.
definitely. He's a huge influence.
Yeah, I kind of got that. That's awesome. Okay. So that's about life being being an aspiring musician.
Yeah,
a
because
rock star.
yeah, totally. Because everyone's constantly telling you that nothing's gonna come from it.
Well, they tell you that. That's see when I know I can understand. It's not cool when people tell you that. But if it lights a fire under you, then that all the more reason it's good because like I always say,
Definitely.
everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be blunt here, was that the kind of reception you got from people, or a lot of them? About,
I think some people when
Really?
I was younger, not really now.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
but when you're in like high school and you're trying to find yourself and stuff like
Right.
that, people almost think you're like posing as something or
Yeah.
you're trying to be something that you'll never be or something like that. You know.
Yeah, they don't want maybe they're envious of your success.
Mm-hmm.
They see you're out there making things happen, and I mean, who knows why people act like that? They say things, they mean things to you. But I love it when people make a statement like you did with stuff like this, writing your own songs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if you enjoy it, why not do it? You know,
Exactly.
Even if you never become the rock star that people envision in their mind, if you're doing it and enjoying it, and some people enjoy your music, it's completely worth it.
So where have you performed overall? I know you performed with Cash and Hogg and the Hogg brothers, Jesse and Braintree. So you performed with them, and aside from them and that band in high school, where else have you performed?
So actually, one of my favorite places to perform, it's right in Manchester, but it's called the Shaskeen.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's really cool. It's basically like
The only bar and grill I know of in Manchester is the. Well, it's not actually. It's in Nashua. It's the Junk. It's called the Junkyard. Maybe
oh,
you've been
nice.
there?
No, but I feel like I've heard of it.
It's on Route. I believe it's on Route 3A.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaskeen's really cool. They bring a lot of awesome bands there. They have a stage in the back, a bar. Everyone there is super cool.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite places to play and check out shows at.
Okay, so you played there.
Mm-hmm.
And,
There's another cool place in Manchester called the Ukrainian Club.
okay.
And it's kind of like a private club, but they have shows, and you basically pay a $5 cover.
Are you Ukrainian at all?
No,
Okay.
I'm Polish and a little
Close.
Irish. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, but you performed this. So you performed in New Hampshire at some of these clubs. Anywhere else? Boston or?
I've played in a few places in Mass.
Okay.
I think Rax was one of the places. I don't know, just a bunch of different art spaces and stuff like
Okay.
that. I don't really remember a lot of them
No,
off the top of my head.
When the sun is going down, have you ever performed like outdoors at Faneuil Hall and put your hat out for money? Because some people do
I
that.
have busked before. When I lived in Boston, I used to busk a little bit.
Okay. And I assume did you get a lot of good responses?
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
awesome.
I think
Okay.
we got enough money to buy a burger or something, which was
Okay.
pretty
Well,
cool.
at least you didn't starve.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah, but speaking of playing outside, there's actually a really cool festival coming up in New Hampshire in June.
Okay.
And it's
Bluegrass.
called
Bluegrass.
It's not bluegrass. It's mostly like punk and
Okay.
like indie type bands.
Punk, huh?
I'm playing it though, but it's called Shuffle Fest. So if anyone wants to check that out, that's going to be awesome.
Okay. Well, you got a time and an address.
I don't have the exact date, but if you look up Shuffle Fest on Facebook, you should be able to find it.
Okay.
It's in June. It goes all weekend, and you can basically camp there and watch music.
You got the dates? If not, that's fine.
Yeah,
if you
not
Shuffle
on me,
Fest,
but
it'll all be out there.
yeah.
You heard that, Shuffle Fest.
Yeah.
Okay, Shuffle Fest. All right, you want to do another number then?
Yeah, totally.
Go for it.
I'll play the fun one.
Oh, go ahead. I love fun ones.
Yeah, so this one's actually about my domestic short-haired cat. I know you like animals too, so.
You know I do. Go for it.
This is dedicated to anyone who loves cats. Some people like dogs. Some people like rats. Some people like birds. Well, I like cats. I love my domestic short-haired cat. I love my domestic short-haired cat. Some people like turtles. Some people like snakes. Some people like horses. Well, I like cats. I love my domestic short-haired cat. I love my domestic short-haired cat. Meow, meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow. Some people like dogs. Some people like rats. Some people like birds. Well, I like cats. I love my domestic short-haired cat. I love my domestic short-haired cat. I love my domestic short-haired cat. I love all the domestic short-haired cats.
Awesome. You can make a video out of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Use a bunch of animals, your own cat.
Yeah.
You still got a cat?
I totally do.
How old?
She's about 7.
Oh, that's great. You should have her for a long time. I
Yeah.
had mine, sadly, I lost last summer after 18
no.
years. So
That's sad.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, it's amazing. I got it. She came to me. Some guy gave it to me on the street back in 2000, and she stayed and she lived to be 18. And then
Nice.
she seemed like everything, you know, everything seemed fine. And then her age just caught up.
Mm-hmm.
So she came to me in the summer and left me in the summer. But I got one sweet video I made of her just before, you know.
Nice.
Yeah. And now, you know, I had another one before that too. I was just, in fact, this is the anniversary of the other one's passing. That it would have been, it lived from 1995 to 2007.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. She had feline AIDS. She would have, you know, or she would have lived longer.
Yeah.
But that's great though. I mean, so you and your cat, that's where you live, just with your cat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, that's great.
And my brother too.
And your brothers, okay.
And his cat too.
Oh, how many cats? So there's two people and 2 kitties.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Do they get along, the cats?
They do actually get along really well.
That's good, and I guess you and your brother do too.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And we're twins too, so
Oh, wow, that's even
identical.
better. You never play music with him?
So.
He's not a musician?
Not really too much. He does play, but
Okay.
he doesn't really play out
Okay.
or write too many songs. I think he's into it, but maybe not quite as much.
I see. Now, what about, as far as like, speaking, I mentioned video. Have you ever done anything like, you done any videos or thought about it?
No, I've never done any videos. I've always kind of wanted to, but
Well, have you got anything on YouTube?
I don't have anything on YouTube, but actually all my music's on Bandcamp, which is a really good website.
It is, okay.
Yeah, and you can stream all my music on there.
How about Spotify? And,
that's the next step.
That's the next step?
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
meaning to do that. Within the next month, my music should be on Spotify.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
And reverb maybe too?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I'm trying to do all those things in the
Okay.
next month or so.
Well, what about, like, you know, someone like you, I mean, you're very creative with your ideas. You might want to get, do you know anyone that produces films? Because you might be able to do a music video based on your stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be cool.
Definitely.
Based on the lyrics that you're emitting, I'd say that's a good idea.
Definitely.
But
yeah, that's one of my next steps.
Okay. Ever done anything else besides in terms of entertainment? Ever done any acting, film? Have you ever written anything besides songs?
Let's see. I've never acted. I think it would be awesome, but I enjoy painting.
Painting,
a lot.
okay. Okay, do you ever try selling your paintings, or have you got any up in your house?
I do. We
good,
actually
okay.
have a wall in our house, and it's all paintings of my cat and my brother's cat.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Does he paint too?
Yeah, he does. We both do animal paintings, basically, of cats.
All right, listen, we're just about a little over 5 minutes to go. You want to do one short song, and we'll wrap the show up?
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead, one more short
yeah,
song.
I'll do another fun song to end it on.
Okay.
So Halloween's actually my favorite holiday.
We'll talk about the Keen thing.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad I brought it up. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is it's a spooky song.
What's it called?
It's called Rock and Roll Graveyard, and it's
Cool.
actually one of the first songs I ever wrote.
I'm sick of the Monster Mash. I hear it every now.
Yeah.
It's your version. Of
Yeah,
something
it's
like
supposed
that.
to be like the new Monster Mash.
I got it. Perfect.
I was walking through the graveyard late one night when I heard a sound that gave me a fright. I followed the sound to a group of rocking ghouls. They were rocking so hard and belting out tunes. It was a rock and roll graveyard. Rock and roll graveyard. Rock and roll graveyard. Frankenstein was shredding his skins while Elvira was singing about her deadly sins. Freddy Krueger was playing his axe while Dracula played his four-string to the max. It was a rock and roll graveyard. Rock and roll graveyard. Rock and roll graveyard. All the ghosts in the graveyard were happy and dancing. The ones that weren't were 6 feet under romancing. The rock show was the best I had seen. Nothing like rocking with all the ghouls on Halloween. It was a rock and roll graveyard. Rock and roll graveyard. Rock and roll graveyard. Getting spooky.
Well, that was my favorite because that's the kind of song that would be great in a video too.
Yeah.
All your songs are like that. They have that, that tendency to create images in your mind that would enhance, but that video would enhance. Do you have any friends that do that? I mean,
no, but I'm sure with social media and things like that nowadays, I'm sure I could find someone,
Yeah, and if I can think of people that might want to produce something like that, maybe after they see the show.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're under 5 minutes now.
Word.
We made the half hour go by. So what I want you to do in the remaining time is to give shouts out to people that are going to see the show, because a lot of them are.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I'd probably like to give some shout outs to the 2 cats we have.
What are the names?
We have Scully and we have Pepsi, or Pepperoni Cat as I call her sometimes.
It's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, I'd like to
Great
give
name.
a shout out to my mom probably.
Okay.
And then all my friends at Handicapped Pets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, so what does like 2019 look like for you now, going forward in terms of your music? What are your plans?
So we basically, there's that Shuffle Fest coming up.
Right. But that's in June.
Yeah, that's in June. Recently, I've actually been playing with a band a little bit.
Okay.
And
not the Hog Brothers.
No. Like another band with
Okay.
with our music, but it's not this music that I play acoustic.
Okay.
It's kind of like a separate thing.
So if they write the songs and you just follow the leads.
I still write the
Oh, you write
songs,
it?
like
Okay.
basically with my friend Andy and my friend Sid plays
Okay.
drums.
Cool.
And so maybe I'll try and do that, and maybe try and play a little bit of band stuff while still doing my own music.
Okay. How much time a week do you spend writing songs? Do you have any? Like...
It's really weird. I actually mostly do all my songwriting in winter because I feel like it's the most depressing time. So it's easier for me to write.
It lifts your spirits.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then I usually, in summertime, I try and play as much out as possible, but don't really write in the nice months.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you plan to travel anywhere besides, besides? I mean, I know obviously New Hampshire, but I mean, do you plan to take your music to other states, maybe New York, LA, Nashville?
Yeah, eventually I'd like to go on a tour. I'd probably start with New England and just kind of try and hit the whole New England region.
I hear you. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have an agent for your?
No, I do it all. I write, record. I do everything on my own.
Your own marketing.
Yeah, literally everything. So.
Okay. Do you have any gigs that that you set in stone for the next few weeks at places besides the ones you mentioned?
So I think the next one is actually when I'm playing with the Hogg Brothers.
And that's going to be where?
It's going to be at the Midway Cafe.
Oh, the Midway,
actually.
right? Okay, you mentioned that.
Yeah, and I believe it's at the end of April.
Okay.
So if anyone's interested, they could look me up on Bandcamp at Hanson Barlow.
Okay.
I have a Facebook page too.
All right, look at the camera and tell them.
Yeah, so I have a Facebook page. You can just type in Hanson Barlow, which is HANSENBARLOW. If you find me on Facebook, I'm constantly posting upcoming shows and stuff like that. So that's the easiest way. You can add me as a friend. And if you search Hanson Barlow and Bandcamp.com, you can actually get all my music. You can buy it and download it if you want, or just stream it for free.
Well, that was okay. Well, I hope you had a good time with me tonight.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, well, great,
My pleasure.
great show. You were a great, awesome performer. Folks, thanks for watching another great episode of Topic Time. More to come. See you next time. You ready to jiggy with it here?
Yeah.
Okay, here we
Let's
go.
do it.
And that's a wrap.